Hello everyone, welcome back to the Wildman 31st channel. If you fly in a squadron long enough, sooner or later the question comes up, when am I actually ready to upgrade to flight lead? That is what this video is about. And because it's the first video in a 10-part series about how to be a flight lead, let me first explain what I want to do with it. This is not going to be a series about buttonology, weapon employment, or how to sound cool on the radio. There's already plenty of content out there that explains how to do things. What I'm more interested in, and I hope you too, is what makes a flight lead effective in the first place. What kind of thinking sits behind the role? What qualities matter? What skills matter? And what really separates the guy in front from somebody who's actually leading the flight? Because we all know those are not the same thing. Anybody can be first in the formation. That by itself means very little. A real flight lead adds value. He creates clarity, gives direction, and he makes the flight function as a unit, instead of four separate cockpits more or less heading towards the same part of the map. And that value often starts showing up before the upgrade itself does. And that to me is one of the most interesting things about flight lead potential. People usually don't spot it in themselves first. Other people tend to see it before they do. The squadron starts noticing small things. A pilot begins making comments in flight that shows he's seeing more than just his own cockpit. He picks up on timing or formation geometry or the fact that something is starting to drift off script. He just stays calm. He doesn't necessarily talk a lot, but when he does, it helps. That's usually how it begins. Not with ambition, but with usefulness. People start noticing that this guy seems to have a bit of room left over. He's no longer fully occupied with just flying his own jet. He has enough spare attention to look outward, connect dots, and contribute at the level of the flight. And once that starts happening consistently, others tend to pick up on it pretty quickly. And I think that matters, because leadership in the air doesn't really reveal itself when everything is tidy and predictable. It really shows up when several small things start going wrong at the same time, or maybe consecutively. And that is where the famous or the infamous Swiss cheese model comes in. If you, like me, have watched aviation videos before, you've probably come across it. One mistake on its own usually doesn't kill the mission. One missed call, one bad assumption, one late reaction, one slightly off timeline, or even one confused wingman. Normally those things are still manageable. The real trouble starts when the holes in the Swiss cheese begin to line up. And when they do, that is exactly when a good flight lead starts adding value. He is the one who sees the pattern early. He notices that the flight is drifting towards a problem before it fully gets there. He cuts through confusion, he simplifies, he redirects. Sometimes that takes a big decision, but often it doesn't. Sometimes it's just one calm call at the right moment that keeps a bad trend from becoming a complete mess. That's leadership. Not just having situational awareness for yourself, but being able to add value when the flight as a whole starts running short on it. Now, does that mean everybody should aim for flight lead? No, I don't think it does. A good wingman is valuable. A strong element lead is extremely valuable. In fact, without them, a flight lead wouldn't be leading much of anything. So this is not a status discussion. It's definitely not me saying that everybody should be chasing the same end state. It's about fit. Some pilots naturally grow towards a bigger picture. Others are at their best as disciplined, dependable wingmen or strong element leads. Both matter a lot. So if you're asking yourself whether you're ready, I think the more useful question is not, do I want the upgrade? It is, am I starting to become useful in a different way? Do people trust my judgment more than they used to? Do in-flight comments carry more weight? Do others start noticing that I still seem to have some room left when things get busy? Because most of the times that's what the beginning looks like. It's not a title, not a patch, not some dramatic transformation. It's just a moment when people around you begin to notice that you're becoming useful at a different level. Not within your own jet, not within a two ship, but within the entire flight. And that's usually where I think the upgrade should start. In the next videos, I would like to look at the qualities a flight lead should have. Not the mechanics yet, not the skills in detail, but the qualities. The qualities as a person. Because when we get into priority, situational awareness, communication, decision making, delegation, trust, and debriefing, I think we skip one thing, and that is we should first think about the kind of person this role actually demands. And that is where this series will continue. I hope I triggered you enough to join me on this venture into what makes a good flight lead. And I hope you follow me. Please leave a comment, and if you want to, a like. And if you do comment, you can definitely be sure that I'll answer you. I'm eager to hear what you have to share.